Hey, and welcome back to the Big John channel today. I want to talk to you about something. It's actually a subject that's kind of near and dear to my heart because I think a lot of people go through this in their life, and that is everybody experiences some type of setback in their life. Can't tell you how many times I've experienced a setback of some sort, whether in business or my personal life or relationship, some kind of issue. I've experienced some type of setback. But in the process of that, I've always had a comeback. And I actually wrote a book on it. If you go to Amazon, you'll find it on there. It's called How to Turn Your Setbacks into a Comeback. How do you come back from very negative, bad situations, things that would crush most people? And I've been there. I've been through. It's kind of like Robert Duvall said in the movie Secondhand Lines. He said, "I've won and lost a dozen fortunes." Well, I've been that same way myself. I've won or lost a dozen fortunes. I have worked very hard, built companies up, sold those companies, started something else only for that to go downhill. And I've just learned how to be like a postage stamp. You may say, be a postage stamp? What are you talking about? Well, this is what I'm talking about. A postage stamp sticks to it till it gets there, and it does best when it takes a licking. And that's the way I've been in my life. I've just tried to stay with it till I got there. So what do you do when you experience setbacks? Just to give you a little bit of history of my own life, I grew up in a very hardworking family. My dad had a tremendous work ethic as well as my mother. I got a work ethic from them. I'm kind of a workaholic. I enjoy it. I even often refer to it as my medication. I medicate with work. My idea of downtime is getting on my lawnmower or my tractor and shredding and cutting grass and thinking and meditating and just kind of sitting back and reflecting. And I enjoy doing things like that. But I've had some challenges. I've had challenges, financial challenges, relationship challenges, business challenges, and not all of them turned out like I thought they would. Probably the hardest challenge I ever faced in my life was the loss of our fourth child, James, who this month would be coming on, I think, 23 years old. So it's hard to believe that it's been that long. But I had to come back from that because it was not easy. You don't plan on taking your children down and calling the mortician and taking them down to a cemetery. It's supposed to be the other way around. So I've had some setbacks. I've had some challenges. So I have also come back from all of those things. And I think the reason being is because I've had a set of principles, a set of standards that helped me to come back from times that were very low in my life. And you may be watching this today and you say, man, I've experienced some setbacks. I've experienced some low times. I've lost some money. I've lost some relationships. I've lost credibility. People have talked about me. And we all go through things like that. So how can we turn our setbacks, the things that have come up to derail us, into comebacks? How can we be better? How can we come out with more than what we had when we went in? How does that happen? Can it happen? Well, I think one of the first things that you need to do, if you're going to turn your setback into a comeback, one of the first things you need to do is find a coach or a mentor. Somebody that can listen to you and invest some wisdom, knowledge, insight, and understanding into your life and help you to develop a plan, a strategy to come out of the situation that you are in. I haven't always had that. In the early days of my life, I didn't have anybody I could go to. I was basically alone. I knew I didn't want to spend all of my life working for somebody and doing all these other things. I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I wanted to be a business owner, but nobody could tell me anything about how to do that. I would come from a small town. I didn't have parents that thought that way, or family members that thought like business owners and thought like entrepreneurs. So as I got older, I started asking questions from people who were more successful than me, people that had more wisdom and insight than I had, and I started getting guidance. Not only that, before I could ever I couldn't afford to go down and spend a lot of money on books, so I would go to the local library and I would check out books. I remember checking out T. Harv Eck's book on the Millionaire Mind, I think is what it was called. I checked out Jack Canfield's book on the Success Principles. I would go down. I even went down to Walmart and I took the book The Secret off the shelf, and while my wife shopped, I would sit on a bench and read the book. I would go down to Barnes & Noble and other places, Books A Million, and I would pick the books off the shelf that I wanted to read that I thought could help me. And I'd go sit down in Barnes & Noble or Books A Million, and I would just read the books while they were there, then put them back on the shelf. And that's what I had to do, because I didn't have any money in those early days to spend a lot of money on those kinds of things. So as a result, things began to change in my life. I began to think differently. I began to take different action than what I did before. So as I began to be mentored by others and coached by others, and then eventually got a business coach, she helped me establish my core values. She helped me put some plans and some packages in place and that sort of thing, helped me navigate hiring people and all of that sort of thing. And as a result of that, my trajectory in my business, in my life, all began to move up. Now, when you start moving up, that doesn't mean problems go away. That doesn't mean setbacks don't, find someplace else to go. No, the fact is, when you start moving up, that's when the setbacks are going to, it seems like they kind of converge on you, because you're faced with a whole new set of challenges. Having more money in life doesn't alleviate problems. It will help you to manage them to some degree, but it doesn't alleviate problems. It doesn't alleviate you coming up on obstacles. It can help you navigate those obstacles, but it's not the end all for the obstacle. So as you're moving up, you get a whole new set of obstacles. You get a whole new set of, how am I going to fulfill this and get this done for this person? And do I need to hire more people? Where do I need to invest? It becomes a little bit bigger puzzle than what you're used to. Having a coach, having somebody who can mentor you, who can walk you through that, and who's been down that road, is a valuable asset to you. Secondly, you need to examine your mindset. I talked about this in a video, and you can watch that video at the end of this one yesterday, on your mindset, a series of beliefs, an attitude. All of these things have to do with your mindset, and where your mind is set, that's where your life is going to flow. So having the right mindset. No, you can have millions of dollars and still go broke because you don't have the right mindset concerning money. You can have all the greatest gym equipment available to you that there is, and you can still be unhealthy because you don't have a mindset for health. So you've got to have the right mindset. Every wealthy person that I have talked to, and I'm not talking about people who inherited money, I'm talking about people who started with nothing and built something. Every one of them have said the same thing. I had to change my mind. I had to change my thinking. And so you've got to do that as well. If you're going to come out of a setback, you've got to examine your thinking. You've got to look at the way you're approaching things? Is there some limiting belief? Is there something in your mind and the mind games that are going on in your head? Is there something that's keeping you from moving to that next level? Now then, number 3 thing that you need to do is you need to reframe your setback as an opportunity to learn and grow. One of the best books I've ever read, and I keep a copy of it in my bedroom next to my bed, and I refer to it often, is John Maxwell's book on sometimes you win and sometimes and it has the word lose scratched out and the word learn over the top of it. Sometimes you win and sometimes you learn. I never look at the setback as a complete loss. I always look at it as what did I learn? Am I learning something from this? Do I have a piece of knowledge that I did not have before? Every time I've experienced a challenge in my life or my business, I have always found something that I could do different to produce a better result for myself in the future. So you've got to learn to reframe your setback into a comeback by getting the right mindset and then finding out what can you learn. And I write things down. I have notebooks everywhere. I have journals and I write things down. What did I learn? Did I go wrong somewhere? If I did, identify that, and then what do I need to learn to avoid that again, avoid that pitfall? How do I learn it? What do I learn? Where do I find the information? And of course, information is available to us just nonstop on multiple platforms. So reframe your setback as an opportunity to learn and grow. Number 5, I think it is. Identify specific lessons or insights from the experience. All right, so sit down. Now, this is hard for people. This is hard for a lot of people to sit down and go, okay, here is the lessons and the insights I took away from this setback. Here's what I did wrong. What did I do wrong? I didn't manage this well. I didn't communicate well here. I procrastinated here. I didn't take action here. You've got to sit down and write. You say, why, John, should I write these things down? Well, if they're just floating around in your head, they're not as real. But when you start writing things down and you start putting information in written form and reading it over and again, that becomes really real to you. You begin to go, hey, it's like the other night I sat down with one of my journals and I had some things that were just floating around in my brain, had been for weeks. But when I started writing them down, all of a sudden the creativity, all of a sudden the passion started to ignite. All of a sudden it began to build up on the inside of me, this expectation and this hope of seeing a dream that was in my heart, a calling on my life become a reality. And it's because I sit down and I learn, I write down insights, I write those things down. What did I get out of this? What did this experience teach me? Number 6, you got to create an action plan, focus on your next steps. Now then, this actually kind of segues into number 7, which is take immediate action on one small item of your plan. So create an action plan. So what am I going to do? The first thing that I do when I create an action plan is I don't put the biggest goal at the top, okay? The biggest thing at the top. I don't do that. I look for the quick wins first. Why is that? Quick wins are confidence builders. They're confidence builders. So every morning I get up at 4 o'clock and I go to the gym. You may say, John, man, you don't look like you. I do go. I look better than I looked 6 months ago. At one time, you may not believe it. Well, you might believe it. But at one time, I weighed almost 400 pounds. So I get up and I go to the gym. This week, I've been concentrating on strength training to get my strength back and build myself up and build my strength up. So I get out of bed at 4 o'clock in the morning. That's the first win for me, just to get out of bed at 4 o'clock in the morning. But when I get out of bed in the morning, and sometimes I'm up before 4, and if I get up before 4 o'clock, say 30 minutes or even an hour before 4, I'm reading. I am spending some time writing some things down, doing some research or something along that line before I go to the gym. But those are the first quick wins. Just for me to get out of bed and get my clothes on and get ready to go is the first win. And when I get in that gym and I start lifting, every set I do is a win for me because it's outside of my normal scope of what my life has been in the past. So I get quick wins. I try to do that in every area of my life. Get the quick win. I believe it was in Tim Ferriss's Tools for Titans. There was one fellow in there that said the first thing he does to start off a day successfully is just make his bed. Just make his bed. I worked with a man one time. He was a very meticulous kind of OCD person, particularly about the way he looked and his house and that sort of thing. People used to tell me about his closet and how it looked, and one day I got to see it. It looked like a department store. Everything was folded like that and hung in colors and so far apart and all of that. But this guy, every day he got out of bed at the same time. When he got out of bed, the first thing he did was hit the floor. He did 60 push-ups and 60 set-ups. He then got up and made the bed and then took a shower and got ready for the day. At night, he got back on the floor, did 60 set-ups, 60 push-ups, and got in bed and rested well. His life was very, very disciplined. Disciplined to the point he got a haircut every week, so his hair never looked like it was out of place at all. But that discipline led to success. Those short wins every day, those quick wins of doing the same thing and getting things out of the way right off the bat has led to his success. So I'm going to encourage you, get a plan. What are you going to do? Plan first off a quick win. Get the quick win right first thing in the morning. And the quick win needs to be something you don't normally do. Maybe it is you don't ever make the bed. You just get out of it and put some clothes on and out the door you go. What can you do to change your morning routine to reflect how you want your day to be? Because most of the time, let's just get real about it. If your morning routine is a mess, most likely your day is going to be a mess. If you get up in the morning and you're scattered and can't get your thoughts together, this is one reason. If you want to watch a good video, go watch Jim Rohn as he talks about what you need to be doing in the morning. And he talks about mastering your morning. Why do you need to master your morning? Why do you need those quick wins? Why? Because they set up, they strategize and set up for you the whole rest of the day. So get a plan for what you're going to do and do something that you would not normally do or you haven't normally done, and make that change and get moving forward in the right direction. Last thing is this: take immediate action on one small item from your plan. Just one. Get that quick win. Take one small action. Take one small action. For me, in the morning, my small actions consist of, first of all, just getting out of bed. I get out of bed at 4 o'clock in the morning. I've always, in the past, been a night person, but I get up at 4, I read. I actually have some self-talk time where I make some declarations and some confessions about myself, about my body, my mind, what I'm going to do that day, different things like that, and I get moving forward. And then I get my coffee made. I put some certain things in my coffee to start getting rid of the brain fog and all that sort of thing. You probably have heard of a bulletproof coffee. That's what I drink every morning. And then out the door, I'm in the truck on the way to the gym. When I'm on the way to the gym, that's a time that if you're a believer like me in Jesus, I pray and I talk to God in that period of time driving to the gym. And then I do that while I'm in the gym. I'm all praying, I'm making declarations, speaking over myself while I'm on the treadmill and while I'm moving from station to station, getting my workout in. So I go for those quick wins. I go for those, I get things done and I get them out of the way, and I try to stay focused on my plan for that day and not get distracted from it. Now, we all experience distractions, and we're going to have them from time to time. You don't want to get in condemnation over that, but what you want to do is keep your life focused and keep a focused routine, particularly in the morning, because that sets up the rest of the day. I don't know who was the original person to say this. I heard Dr. Mike Murdock say it first, but then some people said it was John Maxwell that said it. And I've put it on the signature of my emails for a long time now. But it simply says this: the secrets of your success are hidden in your daily routine. Are you creating, and have you created a routine for success? Have you created habits for success? You can't expect to make $1 million if you have broke habits. So I want to encourage you today, if you're going through a setback, if you're going through some tough times, you don't understand what to do next. First, get a coach, find a mentor. You can hit me up on YouTube. You can find me on Facebook. If you're going through a tough time, one thing you need to understand is it doesn't have to last. Your situation can change. It can change right now. It can change today. It doesn't have to change a year from now. You can take steps to begin to change your situation right now. So don't sit back and become passive and think whatever will be, will be. There's nothing you can do. It's just not the truth. Today you can change things. You can turn your setback into a comeback. Again, this is Big John. Thanks for watching today. And if you want to watch some of our other videos, watch the one right here from yesterday on mindset. You'll be blessed by it. And like and subscribe. Share our channel with others. We'd be glad to have you. I'm just no guy's real practical and tries to help the average person succeed. So if I can help you, I want to. God bless you and have a wonderful day. Talk to you later and watch this video.